Pride Daily.
Hi there, I'm Kev McGrath. Coming up, a lil lesbian nan. First though, on World AIDS Day, some pushback against stigma from a queer man in Ireland living with HIV. 23-year-old Adrian Duggan was diagnosed aged 17 off the back of a routine STI test. The nursing student's in a new documentary made by Joe as part of the You, Me and HIV campaign and says countering the myths is important.
When we dispel them and when we have conversations about HIV, we get to empower people to get tested, to get on treatment if they need it. These are the only ways that we can, end HIV in general. We need people to know their status. And in order to do that, we need to keep talking about it.
World AIDS Day won't be officially recognised this year by the US government for the first time since 1988, because culture wars. And the United Nations says abrupt funding cuts and a worsening human rights environment are badly impacting prevention and treatment in a number of countries.
Pride Daily.
Next, a transgender woman's been sentenced to 5 months jail in Turkey for obscenity. Activist Janset Kalan's legs and cleavage could be seen in a photo shared by someone else. She's also been fined 400 lira. Advocacy organisation ILGA Europe says it's part of a wider pattern of profiling, judicial harassment and efforts to silence trans women.
Pride Daily.
And have you heard about the lil lesbian nan who's blowing up online? The 67-year-old from Manchester in the UK has only been on TikTok for 5 weeks, which has already got nearly 250,000 followers and more than 103k on Insta. Nan's videos cover her coming out in her 30s. We see her jet skiing, plus there's mask lesbian outfit inspiration.
Pride Daily.
Hi there, I'm Kev McGrath. Coming up, new balls, please. First though, tickets have gone on sale for a massive transgender solidarity gig next year, featuring the likes of Christine and the Queens, M&EK and Beth Ditto. Transmissions at London's Wembley Arena on March 11th, raising money for the Good Law Project and trans charity Not a Face. It's a response to, well, the way things are at the moment. Beverly Knight's performing.
I'm standing in solidarity with my trans and non-binary community and friends. I'm going to be there singing my heart out and supporting and showing up the way that I should as a real ally.
Adam Lambert, Wolf Alice and Kay Tempest also on the lineup, plus Sir Ian McKellen, Russell Tovey and many more. A link for tickets is in our show notes.
Pride Daily.
Next, more than 200 men have been arrested at a health club in Malaysia over claims it was actually a gay sauna. Homosexuality is illegal there. Police had the place under surveillance for a fortnight following complaints and say among those held there's a teacher, a surgeon and a deputy public prosecutor. Condoms and lube were found at the venue, plus other items they say may have been used for immoral purposes.
Pride Daily.
And Swiss professional tennis player Mika Brunold has come out as gay. The 21-year-old says success on the court's about discovering your personality and staying true to yourself. He follows in the footsteps of Brazil's João Lucas Reis da Silva, who became the first out gay male pro tennis player a year ago.
The Queer Family Podcast.
Hey there, listeners. Do you like to hear real and honest stories? And do you also believe in inclusion and diversity? If so, I have the podcast for you. My name is Jamie, and I'm the host of the Queer Family Podcast, the show all about family, but with gay. I go in depth with weekly guests about how they built their beautiful queer families and how we all show up in a world that wasn't necessarily designed for families that look like ours. The mission is to uplift, highlight, normalize, and celebrate LGBTQIA plus families in all of our beautiful identities, and we do just that week after week. Tune in every Monday to new episodes. Find us wherever you find your pods. Happy listening.
Love is love on the Queer Family Podcast. Love is love.
Pride Daily.
Hi there, I'm Kev McGrath. Coming up, a non-binary bonus. First though, The unnecessary surgeries being carried out on children in Australia because they're intersex, so they've got ambiguous sex characteristics. A report from Equality Australia says about 2/3 of operations there are due to pressure from parents because they're upset about it, and nearly 47% are for cosmetic reasons. Tony Briffer was the world's first intersex public official, becoming a mayor in the state of Victoria.
If medical treatment isn't medically required, they should wait. Give the child counselling and support, give the parents whatever support and guidance they need, but don't just rush off to a scalpel or hormone treatment. Allow that child to make an informed decision about their bodies.
Thanks to the Castan Centre for Human Rights Law, Victoria actually introduced legislation to Parliament yesterday for a ban on unnecessary surgery.
Pride Daily.
Next, Stephen King's horror classic It is being withdrawn in Russia after a complaint the novel depicts non-traditional relationships. It's been around since 1986, but now AI is being used in the country to go through published books for anything deemed to be so-called LGBTQ+ propaganda, which is banned. The story features a gay man who suffers a brutal homophobic attack.
Pride Daily.
And can identifying as non-binary get you cheaper car insurance? A man in Australia has found his quote dropped by $800 when he tried it as a joke with the provider NRMA, plus further investigations have also led to reductions. The firm's only just introduced a non-binary option and says it will refine its approach as more information's collected on driver behaviour. No time to tell you that kinky gay biker rom-com Pillion's been the big winner at the British Independent Film Awards. It's taken 4, including the prize for top movie.
Pride Daily.
Hi there, I'm Kev McGrath. Coming up, why a gay sports presenter's come out on his own TV show. First though, as 2 of the UK's biggest organisations for women and girls ban transgender females, a message of support from an ally. Both the Women's Institute and Girl Guiding say there's no choice after that Supreme Court ruling, the legal definition of a woman's based on biological sex. Both say they'd wanted to remain trans-inclusive. In response to the bans, British comedian Robin Ince has been speaking out.
Today seems like another horribly regressive day. And what I wanted to say is the way the world looks from the media is that there's so much hate there. And yet I spend so much time travelling the UK. Nearly all of the people that I meet have big hearts and open minds, and they welcome the trans community. I think it's despicable how many transphobic gatekeepers there have been in the media.
Turns out the Supreme Court ruling means trans men and boys could now join these organisations, so it's clearly been well thought through.
Pride Daily.
Next, a transgender woman claims she secretly recorded her surgeons being transphobic about her while they were removing a tumour from her lung. Jennifer Capasso's got stage 4 rectal cancer, and according to a lawsuit, a team at New York's MSK Centre misgendered her and her trans partner, said being transgender wasn't right and that it doesn't make sense. MSK denies the 42-year-old's accusations and says her recording violates worker privacy.
Pride Daily.
And a sports presenter's come out as gay on his own TV show in Brazil in response to the homophobia of a soccer coach. The F word that rhymes with maggot was used by Internacional's Abel Braga in a press conference on Sunday. He thinks his team look like maggots because they play in pink shirts. So ESPN's Richard Spinelli's worn one on air, spoken his truth to viewers and told them we can't keep normalising hate like this. No time to tell you that Colombia's now got options for trans and non-binary on the country's identity documents. The National Civil Registry says it's to guarantee the rights of people with diverse identities.
Pride Daily.
Hi there, I'm Kev McGrath. Coming up, this shop is so gay, does it again. First though, a Christian minister's come out to a congregation as transgender in the middle of a Sunday service. Philippa Fanyeuf shared her truth at North Chile United Methodist Church in New York, where she's been preaching since 2019.
I get to announce with joy that I'm transitioning. I'm affirming and saying to all of you that I am transgender. And so the best way to put this is that I'm not becoming a woman, I'm giving up pretending to be a man.
The 51-year-old's been on hormone replacement therapy for 3 months, allowing her to feel truly happy for the first time in a long time. Her parents aren't supportive, sadly, but her church is totally on board.
Pride Daily.
Next, a law to limit what schools can teach kids about sexuality and gender identity has been approved by the lower house of Italy's parliament. Means this would be subject to parental consent for older children if it's voted through by the Senate, the upper house, next year. Italy's currently got a right-wing culture war government. The Valditara bill would also completely ban this kind of education for younger pupils.
Pride Daily.
And do you remember This Shop Is So Gay? Well, it's come up with the goods again. The business in York in northern England sells LGBTQ+ gifts, but it's also known for its sassy responses to bigoted bedwetters in the city. I'll let co-owner Claire Platts take it from here.
I had to try and explain to the homophobes today who wouldn't let their kids into the gay shop. How dare they assume that it's that easy to become gay? I said, I will have you know, there is literature to be read, music to be learnt, a whole new way to walk and talk, and then you've got to choose your favourite flag so you can choose your sexuality. Quite frankly, I nearly gave up.
I mean, I'm only gay because a homosexual once sneezed near me at the sewing bee. No time to tell you that. Bumper edition. Surrogacy laws are being overhauled in Western Australia, so it's now an option for same-sex couples, plus trans and intersex people. Joe Biden, the most recent US president not to be a convicted felon and sexual abuser, receives an award later from the LGBTQ+ Victory Institute in Washington, D.C. He'll pick up the Chris Abele Impact Prize for his work on equality. Russia has banned the gaming platform Roblox over queer propaganda, and it's Miss Drag South Africa today in Cape Town. From Monday on Pride Daily, we kick off our third A to Z of LGBTQ+, or A to Z if you're listening in America. Yeehaw. That's your lot. I'll see you then.